Okay, how's it going, y'all? So we're going to read some of the Third Congress of the Russian Social Democrat Labor Party in 1905. This is a speech during the discussion of the party rules. This is Lenin. It's a speech during the discussion of the party rules, April 21st, May 4th. So let's see what he says here. This is during the Congress. He says, I must confess that the arguments employed by Comrade Ivanov in defense of his idea of a single centrist seem to me untenable. The Speaker needs the argumentation of Comrade Ivanov. On clauses 4 and 5, the system of two centres with a balancer and the Council has been condemned by past experience. The history of the party crisis plainly shows that the system provides too favorable a soil for the growth of differences, squabbles, and court intrigues. It means the subordination of people in Russia to those abroad. Owing to arrests, the Central Committee personnel is unstable, whereas the editorial board of the central organ is constant, and the Council resides abroad. On the one hand, all the most important objections against a single center, based on the actual severance of Russia from the people abroad, only confirm the idea that a split between the two centers is possible and even probable. On the other hand, these objections largely fall away if the Congress makes periodic conferences obligatory between the Russian members of the Central Committee and the members abroad. Okay, so this is back to Lenin. It has been found, however, that the fine qualities here alluded to are possessed in equal measure both by the central organ abroad and by the quote, genuinely Russian, end quote, Central Committee. In Comrade Ivanov's entire reasoning, I discern the fallacy emphasized by logic as post hoc ergo propter hoc. Because the three centers have pardoned the expression, played us dirty, let us have a single center. I fail to see the propter here. Our troubles were not due to the mechanism, but to persons. What happened was that certain persons, using a formal interpretation of the rules as a subterfuge, ignored the will of the Congress. Has not the genuinely Russian CC dialectically turned into its exact opposite? Comrade Ivanov's reasoning is, the group abroad has acted shabbily. We must therefore put it under a, quote, state of siege, end quote, and keep it a, quote, tight hold, quote, on it. As you know, I have always been an advocate of a state of siege and a tight hold, so that I shall raise no objection to such measures. But does not the CC, the Central Committee, deserve the same treatment? Besides, who will deny that the central organ can be constant, while the CC cannot, while the Central Committee cannot? This is after all is a fact. But in practice, I shall abstain from all polemic. Formerly, we had the Council, and now we shall have a conference of the CC section working abroad and of the section working in Russia. A difference of only a couple of letters. Our cart has been lurching all the time to the right towards the central organ. Comrade Ivanov has been laying the straw on the right side to cushion the fall, but I think it ought to be laid on the left side as well. On the side of the CC, I would subscribe to Comrade Mikhailov's proposal to cashier the committees, but I really don't know what the periphery exactly is. Quote, chairwarmers and keepers of the sill, end quote, should all be smoked out. But how is one to define precisely the concept of periphery? 2/3 of the votes of the periphery. But who can keep a strict record of the periphery? I must, besides, warn the Congress against cramming the rules with too many clauses. It is easy enough to pen nice clauses, but in practice they usually prove superfluous. The rule should not be made a collection of pious wishes. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of I like seeing how they did their congresses, you know. So yeah, that's what we have there. That's from the Third Congress of the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party. Speech during the discussion of the party rules. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. You know, y'all can follow me online: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, Medium, all Marxists. Hit me up. Y'all have a great day. Without a going.